Hey everyone, welcome. I'm Kate, and this is my One for One Life. Today I want to talk to you about shiny balloons. Okay, I know that sounds kind of crazy. What does it have to do? You're going to find out. So hang on. So last week, my daughter went to a first birthday party for her goddaughter and came home with, I think, four of those bright, shiny helium balloons, different designs, pink and shiny. Anyway, she brought him home because we have three little boys that hang out at our house a lot. And she knew that they would like them, right? So sure enough, they show up and they're all tied up on our handrail on our stairs. And they're like, oh my gosh, I want a balloon. Of course you want a balloon. Who doesn't love a balloon, right? So she's like, you can have one of these three, but you can't have that one. Now, y'all know what happened. Okay. They were perfectly happy with the balloon that they got for a couple minutes. And then it was like, well, but I want that one. And the answer is no, you can't have that one. So they were here again yesterday and again, I want that one. And she said something so profound. She said, why isn't what I gave you good enough? And I just went, oh, God, we do that to you all the time. Why is it what you put in my hand isn't good enough? And I want that one. I mean, how many times do you do it with, our jobs, our cars, our homes, our talents? We go, God, I don't like what you gave me. I want that. I like that better. But here's the thing, even if that's what he gave me, guess what? There would have been something else, I'm sure, that we would like better. What has God put in us as our own? I mean, he created us, right? We are unique. We have the gifts and the talents and everything that he wanted us to have. And yet we are attracted to, drawn to that which isn't for us. We see it, right? If you go all the way over to Genesis, all the way over, or open it right at the beginning, right? And it happens right up front in chapter 3. We're familiar with this. Eve's hanging out, Adam's hanging out, and the serpent comes and goes, look at that tree. And instead of saying, nope, that's not our tree, and ignoring what the enemy says, she turns and she looks. We do that. I do that. I'm sure you're human. I bet you do it too. And my husband pointed out, because his discipleship group is going through the book of Genesis. And he's like, so where were they when it happened? I'm like, they're in the garden. Okay, they're in the garden. And I never stopped to think how enormous the garden is. I mean, mine is, this 20 by 20 or whatever, with a fence. It's pretty distinct as to the size of my garden, but he couldn't have shown her the fruit of the tree if she wasn't hanging out by the tree. And I sat there at that and went, oh my goodness, what tree am I hanging out by that God has said, girl, that is not your tree. You need to walk away from that tree. It's not your tree. Because he says, and when the woman, now I can't find the verse, it says, but when the woman saw that it was desirable to the eyes, I mean, she was there by the tree. We don't need to be by the tree that we don't belong to, because what God, the parameters God has set for us is for us, and it's for our good. It doesn't mean he's withholding like the enemy tells us. He's like, if God really loved you, he'd let you have all of it, right? That's not how God is. But looking at the balloons, they're all balloons, right? But they look a little different on the outside. And that's what caught the boy's attention. This one, the other, it has got a really cool looking unicorn head on it. It's cute. And they were drawn to that. So what are my eyes looking at that I don't need to be looking at? And am I hanging out by a tree with the enemy going, Kate, look at this? Because remember, all of the balloons are balloons, right? They're all just balloons. They were for the party, to celebrate, to bring bright, festive enough. Was one balloon better than the other? I am sure if one of them had been given that unicorn balloon, they would have came up and said, yeah, but I want that one, right? Because what God puts in our hands isn't enough for us at times. Shame on us, shame on me. It's like, oh my goodness, God gives it. So, oops, wrong one. I'm jumping over to Luke, and it says, you ready? We know this. We know this. It says, Luke 1, verse 22, and says, be doers of the word, not hearers only, deceiving yourselves. For if anyone is a hearer of the word and not a doer, he is like a man who looks intently at his natural face in the mirror. For he looks at himself and goes away and at once forgets what he looks like. But one who looks into the perfect law, we need to look at what God has given us and truly and for what it is. We don't need to be like the Hebrews who are like, oh, Moses, we're all going to die. You brought us out here to die. We're all just going to die. What did God do? God shows up, right? God fed them. God brought them water out of a rock. Where God has us, if it's truly God and not here of my own stupidity, if you will, I can't come up with the word. It's because it says Proverbs 14:1 says that a wise woman builds her house, but a foolish one tears it down with her own hands. And the foolish one is looking at that one balloon that I was told no to, going, but that's the answer to all of my needs. If I had that, life would be good. If I had that, then I would be happy. No, guys, it's just a balloon. Is it pretty? Sure. It's shiny. Why wouldn't it be pretty? But we have to go back and be in the word and go, what does God's word tell us? Psalm 139 says we are fearfully and wonderfully made. Jeremiah 29:11. We love to quote this one. He knows the plans he has for us. He knows. He knows. And he's not leaving us out there to suffer and everything because he's getting a great chuckle out of it, okay? He's not withholding a balloon from me because he doesn't love me. No, just like he told them in the garden, that is not for you. What is not for me that I'm so focused on that I think, oh God, if you loved me, you'd give that to me. And I think he goes, oh, Kate, you have no idea the blessings of me withholding that from you truly mean. So if you're looking at a balloon going, oh God, I want that balloon. Why can't I have that balloon? I encourage you today to step back and go, what has God given me? And celebrate in what he has given you. Because there's a reason. There's a reason why that hasn't been given to you. We may never know why, but he knows why. And he knows what we need far more than we do, right? So being in the word, we need to be not just hearers of the word. We have to do the word. We have to lean not on our own understanding. but in all of our ways, acknowledge him, and he will make our path straight. And you might not ever get that shiny balloon that you keep looking at going, oh God, I want that. But what he's going to give you is so much better. And I don't want something so bad. He goes, all right, I'm going to give it to you at the expense of all of this other things that he's going to lead me into. It's not worth it. It's just not worth it. So get rid of the balloon fixation and quit looking at what God isn't giving you, and look at what God has given you. God bless. Have an incredibly day. It's beautiful here today. It's a little chilly, but it's December. So many blessings. Shalom.